is Henriette Callison, and I'm a part of the National COVID-19 Clinical Evidence Task Force. And in this video, I will guide you through what an evidence profile is and what it contains. So to understand the evidence profile, we first need to understand what information has been going into this profile, what work has been done prior to obtaining it. And the first thing you do is that you identify the clinical question that you wish to answer. So this is also the so-called PICO question. This is then followed up by a search for literature and a selection of studies. And then for each of the studies that you have identified and what you wish to include, you then perform a quality assessment and an extraction of data. You then somehow need to combine all of this information, and this is often done by performing a meta-analysis. So each clinical question may have several outcomes, and this also means that each clinical question may have several meta-analyses. And this provides you with a fair amount of information. So in order to get an overview, you may wish to combine everything into one single profile. And this would then be your evidence profile. So the evidence profile contains the body of evidence for this particular question. This would be a typical presentation of an evidence profile, and this particular profile has been constructed in the online program called MAGIC App. At the top of the profile, you have the clinical question itself. The profile then contains 5 different columns, and each outcome then has its own row. So here we have the 5 columns and 2 outcomes in this particular evidence profile. So let's have a look at one of the outcomes. This is a so-called dichotomous outcome, so an outcome that is considered or evaluated as being present or absent, or where you can say yes or no to the given question. In the first column, we have the name of the outcome. So this would be the number of participants who failed their exams. And here it is also indicated whether this outcome is critical or important for this clinical question, for this PICO question. Next column contains the results from the meta-analysis that we performed, and it also contains the number of participants and studies going into the analysis. The third column is basically the same. It's the same results that we see. However, here they are presented as absolute effect estimates. The fourth column is where we rate the certainty of the evidence. So how certain are we that the results that we have obtained in our meta-analysis actually represents the true effect? I'm not going into details with how you rate the certainty of the evidence. I will be doing that in another video. However, just so you know, you may obtain 4 different levels of certainty, that being either high, moderate, low, or very low certainty of evidence. The last column is a plain text summary, which sums up what we have identified for this particular outcome. So it sums up what was the effect that we saw in the analysis, as well as the certainty of evidence. This is narratively described, and also it provides you with a visual guidance. So this color indication showing that in this example, the intervention favors the particular outcome. Next outcome is a continuous outcome, so something that you would measure on a numerical scale, for example. And here the outcome is quality of life, and it is rated as an important outcome for this clinical question. The setup looks the same as the dichotomous outcomes. However, here in the second column, we have the range and the direction of the scale given. We also have the number of participants and studies, of course. And then we have the actual results from the analysis in the third column. Certainty of evidence in the plain text summary is the same as with the dichotomous outcomes. So here you have it. the evidence profile as it may look. It provides you with an overview of the body of evidence for your clinical questions, and it is based on this evidence profile that you balance the pros and cons of a given intervention and then creates a recommendation. So that was it. Please do follow us on Twitter and visit our website for more information. Take care.